What's going on, guys? My name is Bochko and I'm back with some more from the series Battlefield 1 Pro Tips, Hints and Tutorials. And in this video I want to talk about the horse, or more known as the Cavalry class, which is also one of the newest classes in Battlefield 1. During the World War I, horses played an important role of many fronts in the war. They are one of the many elements that made the era truly unique. What about in Battlefield 1? Although the horse is an animal, it features as a vehicle in the game, which it is. While they might not be as strong as tanks, they are still effective in close quarters combat. So let's start with the location, where you can find them. Well, you can pick up one from your base, as you can see, and it's marked as a little white horse on the loadout screen and as a horseshoe on your minimap. And there are a total of 1, 2 or 3, depending on the map, for one team. Later on in the game you will have one more as an additional, which will be available at some of the objectives on the map, like G on Sinai Desert and D on Foul Fortress. And I just want to add that the horses are accessible only on the maps Bauron Blitz, Foul Fortress, Suez, Sanguine Scar and Sinai Desert. Also, taking it up from the loadout screen is the only way to ride the horse. You can still mount it up across the whole map, of course, if you find an abandoned one, which is a very common thing. Moving on to the equipment it has, and you will spawn with it when you choose the Cavalry class. However, you can change it after that if you wish, with someone else's kit on the battlefield. But if you are on the horse, you will be with the Cavalry class. I hope you get what I mean. Starting with the primary weapon, which is the Russian 1895 Cavalry, 5 bullets magazine with a clip mechanism and 56 bullets per minute rate of fire makes it a decent weapon for medium range combat that can be fired from horseback. For secondary you have a Cavalry sword, which is a melee weapon and it allows you to cut down infantry in your path. And before moving on to the next ones, I just want to add something about the saber, some tips. And the first one is that you cannot kill an enemy if he's prone on the ground. But that doesn't mean you can't run over him with the horse. And the second one is about the direction of your sword and camera view. What I mean is, if you have an enemy on the left or right side of the horse, you got to make sure you swing your sword in the right direction so you can kill him, and you can change it by pressing the C button by default on your keyboard. Okay, moving on to the gadgets of the Cavalry class. You have an ammo pouch, which resupply your teammates with ammo, and a bandage pouch, which is the same like the one we have in the medic class, and I mentioned that in my previous video. You can drop both of them from the saddlebags on your horse to assist team members and help them stay in the fight. Also, if you are low on health, you can still heal yourself with the bandage pouch while you sit on the horse. Next up are the grenades. You have 2 light anti-tank grenades, which does around 15 damage per grenade on a heavy tank and are pretty good against infantry and light armored vehicles. Everything I said so far refers when you ride the horse, and I want to add that you cannot run out of ammo and it takes around 13.5 seconds to resupply yourself with 2 light anti-tank grenades. When you get off the horse, everything is pretty much the same, but the secondary, instead of a Cavalry sword, which is your melee weapon now, you will have a pistol, which is the M1911 or P08. You will get the first one if you play as a soldier from the British Empire and USA, and the P08 from the German and Ottoman empires. And you will get one light anti-tank grenade as well. On the last place I want to talk about the last tab, which is about the horse's skin color, and I don't know if this is the name of the horse's breed or it's the name of the color. I'm not very familiar with horses, so I apologize about that. I have seen a lot of players riding around with the default skin color of the horse. Maybe they don't know that they can change it, or maybe they really like the default one, I don't know. Okay, starting with the first one, which is Bay, and as you can see in this footage we have a nice dark brown color skin with a little black on his legs and a white spot on its forehead. The next one is Smoky Black, and as it says on its name, we have a beautiful 1 brake horsepower, fully black skin color Ferrari. Molto grazie! And the last color is with the name Dun, and it's a light brown horse with little grey on its legs and a large white spot all over the head. I wish they could add a white skin color later on, like the one we have in the single player of the game. It would be amazing, but who knows, that could be opened with an Easter egg. And the next thing I want to talk about is the horse movement. Just because they share similarities with many of the vehicles in the game doesn't mean they feel like a vehicle. Like on foot, you can control it with your normal movement buttons, and if you want to gallop to get more speed if you want, you just need to press your sprint button. Also, you can slightly control it with your mouse by moving it on left or right. You don't have a reverse and you can't make sharp turns. So, if you are against a horse rider, the best thing you can make is to stay in his radius, and by that time, when he figures out how to kill you, he will be probably already dead, and always try to shoot at the rider, not the horse, because it has less health, but you can still kill both of them with explosive weapons. And I want to add that you can only shoot or reload your rifle when you are in a normal movement speed, or when you are not galloping, I can say. Something different that you can expect from a horse than in a vehicle is that it has its own mind. Sort of. What I mean is you can throttle up in a car in front of a cliff's edge and you're going to go right over, but head towards the same cliff on a horse. The horse will get scared and will refuse to go further. They are one of the smartest animals on this planet and they will not jump towards its own death.
What the hell were you thinking?
Another thing I want to mention is don't whatever you do go inside a building or a ruined building, because as I said before, you can't ride the horse backwards, which makes it really hard to move in this case. And sometimes, I don't know if it's it because you don't have enough speed or something else, but you can easily jump over a tank or a wall, but this small fence, no. And some interesting facts in the end, I'm not very sure, but I think in real life horses can swim in water. But I recommend you to not do it in Battlefield 1 because they can't swim in deep water, so be careful. And the second fact I just want to tell you from curiosity, because it won't be a problem in the game ever, to be honest, and it's about the horse moving speed in numbers. I have made some experiments and when you move normal, your speed is 25 kilometers per hour, and when you gallop it's 50 kilometers per hour. Pretty interesting, right? And with that thing said, this is going to be the end of this video. If you learned something new about the Cavalry class, you can give me a like. If you want more Battlefield 1 videos, you can subscribe to my channel. So thank you, and I see you on the battlefield. Goodbye.